Hey everybody, Howard here with what I'm calling a follow-up to my lesson, Cool Chord Inversion Tricks and Ideas That We All Should Know, right? Now, the main reason I'm doing this is because several viewers wanted me to take a deeper dive into this, okay? I kind of scratched the surface, focusing more on the inversions, but they wanted to know more about how I'm playing the licks inside the chords and also how to travel from one inversion to the next, okay? So there'll be some overlapping material here, but for those of you who haven't seen that previous video, I'll put a link to it in the description box below, and so here we go. Now, the concept here is pretty basic. It's pretty simple to wrap your head around, but it's also very musical and very effective, not to mention fun, okay? So I'll be talking about major and minor chords played from the 6th string as well as the 5th string, okay? So there's a little review here, of course, but then we'll branch out from there, okay? So let's say we've got a G bar chord at the 3rd fret. Now, within the shape of that chord, within what your fingers are playing, you have certain scale tones that you can borrow from. Now, within those scale tones, you can do hammer-ons, pull-offs, whatever you want to do. Pretty sweet, all without moving your hand at all. Now, when we move to a minor shape, say an A minor, if we release our pinky, we have an A minor 7, okay? And right within that chord shape, which is a minor chord shape, we have the minor scale that we can add in there. So picture a pentatonic minor living right within or underneath that chord, however you want to look at it. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, whatever you want to do, okay? You can just add it all into that particular chord shape. So that's kind of a great rule of thumb, and it's really simple. If you've got a major chord shape, that's what you're playing underneath. If you've got a minor chord shape, that's what you're playing, right? And again, I keep saying it, but it's true. You can do anything you want to do, okay? You can do hammer-ons, you can do pull-offs, you can do slides, you can do bends, whatever you want. It's going to work great. So let's talk about minor chords off of the 5th string now, and then we'll talk about majors. So let's say we've got a simple D minor bar chord. Release that pinky, and we have a D minor 7. And we play within that chord like so. Right? So as you can see, whatever form you're holding in your hand, whatever chord shape you're holding, you simply wrap the appropriate scale around it, and when you release your pinky, you're just sounding chord tones, right? Very simple concept and very easy to wrap your head around. So let's talk about major chords off of the 5th string. So this is a little bit different, okay? We need to do some inverting to really make it sing, okay? So let's say we've got a C chord at the 3rd fret. Now, the most we can do with this chord is we can add our pinky to the 6th fret on the B string. We get a sus4. We can also get a sus2 by playing like this. So there's a couple of things we can do with that shape. That's about it, okay? You're kind of stuck in that fingering. So what we want to do is we want to invert the chord, okay? So we're going to play it from the 3rd of the chord. E, G, C, and then E again. And just bar across all 5 strings with your 1st finger, okay? Just omit the 6th string on this one. As you can see, I'm using that same A minor pentatonic scale, which you can also view as a major, C major pentatonic. But once you get into that inversion, So for major chords off of the 5th string, inverting it like that is a very good idea. And you could play a lot of cool stuff like that. You could have a simple progression like E major, D, and A. And by inverting, you can open yourself up to a lot of cool stuff. Just all kinds of cool and really fun stuff you can just come up with, improvise and ad-lib. Now let's talk about connecting these various fingerings together for the majors and the minors and some inversions. And it's really quite simple. You just follow the scale that lives within the chord, okay? So let's say I want to travel from that G major to a C major. All right, so I'll use a scale. That's just doing it in one octave. So from the G major chord, we have, right? And the pattern is very easy to remember. 3 notes on the 6th string, followed by 2 notes on the 5th string. And then if we want to carry that into a couple of more octaves, we would just repeat that pattern. 3 notes on the D string, 2 notes on the G string, 3 notes on the B, 2 notes on the E. And all of that is available to you within that G chord. And as you can see, when you combine it with what we were talking about within the chord shapes, it all gets pretty sweet. But as I just mentioned, you can walk into various inversions. For instance, this is a G major, right? B, D, G. You can bar if you want to. And that's also a G, right? So you can think about these shapes once you get there. You see what I mean? Just fall right into that chord. Maybe do some double stops. If you can envision a D chord up here on the 7th fret, it's a G, right? And so there's certain patterns you can play, a la David Gilmour and Jeff Beck. You can see that on the screen. So if I wanted to do that over an A chord, for instance, I'd come way up here to the 9th fret. But it's the same scale, the same pattern. So that's a lot of stuff that you can do just on one chord, okay? But you can use it to travel from one chord to the next. So if we keep all of that kind of stuff in mind, we can do the same thing off of a C chord. 3 notes starting on the 5th string, followed by 2 notes on the D, 3 notes on the G, followed by 2 notes on the B, and 3 notes. So as you can see, I'm just starting from the root of the chord, but the pattern is always the same. It's just a major pentatonic scale. So let's do a little dance between the G major and the C major. You can just kind of have fun with it, right? Just by following these simple patterns. So let's talk about using the minors. So let's say I wanted to travel from G major to A minor, to D minor, to E minor. So as you can see, there's a lot of really fun and cool stuff you can do just thinking about these various shapes, these various inversions, and the way to play these chords. You can just do so much within just those shapes. And as a note, coming off of the minor chords, the scale that connects it is, of course, the minor pentatonic. So again, if we're playing a major chord, I want to reiterate this. The pattern is... And if it's a minor chord, the pattern is this. Right? So what I'm doing there is I'm moving to the left, if you will, a whole tone to the left of the root note, A. So I'm moving down to G, and we play the opposite pattern. We play 2 notes, then 3, 2 notes, 3, 2 notes, 3. So that's how you would connect, say, from moving from A minor to G major or G major to A minor, right? So these are just tried and true pattern shapes that you can use. I like to think of them as shapes because once you can memorize what shapes have what scale tones within them and also what scale to use moving from one chord to the next, you're ready to go. And it's really just simple. It's just major versus minor. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And again, there is a link to the previous lesson in the description box below. And I shall see you guys in the next video.